Hello there. Today we will try to solve a different kind of word problem. This is before and after word problem. So just like my previous video, we will be reading this part by part and try to use model drawing to help us visualize the problem. So let's start. Bea had 300 cards. Drake had 200 more cards than Bea. So reading that, who has more cards, Drake or Bea? So it's Drake who has more. It says 200 more. So for our model, Drake will take a longer bar than Bea. Okay, and then we will label it as 200 more. All right, now Drake lost some cards to Bea. In the end, Bea had three times as many cards as Drake. So here we will have a separate model to show the before and the after. I forgot to put here the 300, so let's just put it there. Alright, so let's label this as the before and after. So after, Bea has three times as many cards as Drake. So it means to say that Drake lost a lot of cards to Bea because in the end, Bea had more cards than Drake. So how much more? It's three times as much or as many. So we have here Drake and Bea. This time, Bea has three times as many cards as Drake. Alright. So looking at our problem, okay, we are only limited to this before model and the after model. The question now is, did any of the cards get lost? It didn't say that cards were lost or got broken. It was just transferred from one person to another. So in that case, we know that the total before and after is the same. So the total here and here is the same because again, the cards were just transferred from one person to another. None of it got lost. All right. So given that, where are we going to find the total? Is it from the before scenario or in the after scenario? As you can see, we don't have any numbers to work on in the after model, but we do have something in the before model. So in that case, we will get our total from the before model. And how do we get the total? Okay, that is by looking for Drake's card at first. All right. So because we only have here the comparison between Drake and Bea's card and Bea's number of cards, but we don't have the number of Drake's cards. So in that case, we look for Drake's card at first. So Drake's card here, I'll label it as red. We look for that by adding 300 plus 200, giving me 500. Okay, so that's 500 cards. Now to get the total, we have 500 for Drake plus 300, 300 for Bea. We now have the total of 800 cards. So again, 800 before and after. So from here, we would be able to see that we have 800 in the end and at first. And in our model, in the after model, we have now 4 units. Okay, the 800 is for 4 units. So with that, we will be able to see and look for the number of Bea's card in the end. Okay, so this is what we are looking for. So 4 units is 800. 1 unit now is 800 divided by 4, which is 200. Okay, are we done already? Not yet, because what we found out, the 1 unit is Drake's cards. So that's 200. So each of these blocks or bar is 200. So given that, 3 units for Bea. So that's 3 times 200, 600 cards. Okay, so Bea had 600 cards in the end. Okay, so let's proceed to another problem. So let's try this second problem. Jim had twice as much money as Kyle. Okay, so let's try to draw that. Jim had twice as much money as Kyle. So Jim spent 500 pesos on a shirt. Okay. And then after that, Kyle had 3 times as much money as Jim. Okay. So after spending the 500, Jim's money became less than Kyle. Okay. So let's try to visualize that further. In this case, I think it's easier for us to visualize if we will only have a single model, not the before and after anymore, but rather I'll work on this single model. So we have, so Kyle's money became thrice. So let's try to do that here. If Kyle's money became thrice, so this single bar was split into three. And then to show that this is thrice as much money as Jim, I will have the model for Jim and show the 1 unit there using the red. And of course, the remaining bar for Jim will be the one that he spent. Okay, so let's try to label that as such. This is the 500 pesos that he spent. Okay, maybe I will highlight it also with green so we know that this was the amount spent by Jim. All right, so given this, we are looking for the amount of money Jim had at first. So let me just label that. How are we going to find that? Okay, so our model is not of the same sizes right now. So remember, we're looking for 1 unit. Okay, and as you can see, we don't have the same sizes of units. So the best way to deal with this is to make them all look equal. So let's try to make them all smaller units. So if one big unit earlier was split into three, let's try to split the rest, okay, of Jim's bar into three equal units. All right, so given that, we now see how many units the 500 stand for. So for the 500, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. Okay. So 5 units is 500 pesos. We get 1 unit by dividing it by 5. And then finally, to find Jim's money at first, we will just need to either add 100 or multiply 100 by 6 because Jim has 6 units. Okay. So there you have it. We have Jim had 600 pesos at first. Okay, so you can always check your answer by trying to find if these satisfies the the given problem. So let's try to find Kyle in the end. So Kyle had 300 pesos in the end. Jim had 100 pesos in the end. So it really satisfies that Kyle have 3 times as much money as Jim in the end. So with that, our answer is correct. So that's it for this video. We will have more problems next time.